Physical geography of the United States. Climate. The climate of the United States is wetter in the east and south and drier in the west. That is today's main idea. By the end of today, you should be able to explain what types of climate can be found in the eastern part of the United States. You should also be able to identify by looking at a map which state has a humid tropical climate and what types of climate does Alaska have. Climate. Did you know the United States has a greater variety of climates than any other country? Just look at the map of the United States. You get to see all sorts of different types of climate in the United States. The East and South. The eastern United States has 3 climate regions. In the Northeast, people live in a humid continental climate with snowy winters and warm, humid summers. Southerners, on the other hand, experience milder winters and the warm, humid summers of a humid subtropical climate. Most of Florida is warm all year. As we analyze the varied climates of the United States, 2 distinct states on the eastern part of the United States come to mind with their variety of climates, such as New York with a humid continental climate. New York City experiences cold winters with snowfall. In this climate, people can ice skate during the winter. With a humid subtropical climate, most of Florida has warm sunny days during most of the year. In this climate, people can enjoy the region's beaches. So how do the human characteristics of New York City differ from a Florida beach? How does climate impact those characteristics? New York City has tall buildings and ice skating rinks, and the Florida beach doesn't. The warm climate of Florida makes ice skating outside there difficult, so there aren't ice skating rinks. The interior plains. Temperatures throughout the year can vary greatly in the interior plains. Summers are hot and dry in the Great Plains. However, most of the region has a humid continental climate with long, cold winters. The West. Climates in the West are mostly dry. The Pacific Northwest coast, however, has a wet, mild coastal climate. The region's colder climates are in Alaska, which is both subarctic and tundra climates. In contrast, Hawaii is the only state with a warm tropical climate. Another thing that is essential to the United States are its natural hazards. These are the physical systems that are created around us. These patterns influence our lives. For example, every region of the United States has distinctive natural hazards. Volcanoes threaten the Pacific Northwest. Earthquakes rattle California. Wildfires strike forests in the West. Hurricanes endanger the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico coast. And major rivers are prone to flooding. Tornadoes regularly rip across the flat areas of central and southeast United States. In fact, the United States lies in danger of getting hit by an average of 6 hurricanes a year. Formed by the warm waters of the Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean Sea, and the collision of strong winds, hurricanes are the most powerful storms on Earth. Most hurricanes look like large donuts with a hole, or eye, in the middle of the storm. Around the eye, high winds and rain bands rotate counterclockwise. Once the hurricane moves over land or cold water, it weakens. Hurricane Katrina. On August 29, 2005, one of the most destructive hurricanes ever hit the United States. Hurricane Katrina devastated coastal regions of Louisiana, the city of New Orleans, and the entire coast of Mississippi. With winds as high as 145 miles per hour, Katrina destroyed hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses. In addition, Katrina pushed water from the Gulf of Mexico onto land to a height about 2 stories. As a result, low-lying areas along the Gulf Coast experienced massive flooding. The storm also caused several levees in the protected New Orleans from Lake Pontchartrain to break. The loss of these levees, which was a technological hazard, caused the lake's waters to flood most of the city. About 150,000 people who did not evacuate before the storm were left stranded in shelters, high rise buildings, and on rooftops. Using boats and helicopters, emergency workers rescued thousands of people. Total damages from the storm were estimated to be nearly $151 billion. More than 1,800 people died, and over a million were displaced. As you analyze this map, you may want to consider what types of natural hazards affect people in the United States. How do they affect people? Some answers might include earthquakes, tornadoes, wildfires, hurricanes, floods, and volcanoes. They could cause injury and death. They could force people to relocate, destroy property, and cost large amounts of money. So, what does it mean? Natural hazards can influence where we live, how we build our homes, and how we prepare for storms. For example, in Tornado Alley, special warning sirens go off when storms develop that might form a dangerous tornado.